Uh, okay. The next is from Ben. It's from the Aliens in Vegas. It's not Alien Clip. It's too long. It's 5 minutes long. We can't play that.
Yeah.
Put it in the Patreon.
Yeah.
And it's not. You can't. It's. I'm very skeptical of that because first of all, the people uh, supposedly called the cops
Yeah, I heard the
to
call.
explain the aliens in their backyard. It's like none of them decided to get their camera out and take a picture. Like,
No, I saw a video, but it's like, every time someone does one of these videos, it's like a 2008
right? It's
BlackBerry
not
filming it or
clear.
something.
It's like
Yeah.
it's a work. I don't trust it.
People are
Like I
like,
said, you have to be skeptical until you get clear video of any of this stuff. It's like, why is
right.
the video not clear? All the phones are high def cameras. You
Yep.
know, it's
And
like
it's like, hey,
ridiculous.
you can see the 9-foot alien standing behind the forklift. I don't know. There's a forklift in their yard for some reason, but you can see it standing behind the forklift, and it's just like a light and like a blur. It's like, how am I supposed to
Right.
take that?
Yeah. Next is from Big Rig, and the subject is neck workouts. Howdy, fellas. I was wondering if you two put emphasis on training your neck during your in-ring careers. If so, what was your routine? Have either of you worked with the neck harness in the past? And if so, what was your max weight when you used one? Thanks as always. No, just upright rows and shrugs. No actual neck harness, like actual neck work. We just did the upright rows and shrugs. Did you do any neck work, Conan? Did you do the same thing?
Yeah,
Upright rows
same
and
as
shrugs?
you. That's
Yeah.
what I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Next is from Jonda Yvonne, and the subject is Dutch Mantell burying Karrion Kross. I know that you guys have said many times you want shorter clips, but a few days ago, Dutch Mantell was asked about Karrion Kross. He went off, even as far as saying that WWE should fire him. Again, I know it's a longer clip that you want, but I'm very interested to hear what you have to say. P.S. I know you guys aren't video game guys, but a few days ago, the profit margin for AW Fight Forever leaked, and AW is going to give on this. The profits are being split 70-30. 70 to the game makers and 30 the split between AEW and all their stores selling the game. That is, after all, the budget has been made back first. This is going to be a rough time. I don't care about the video game. I listened to Dutch's clip, and he was making the case that I don't think it was one so much as like he was burying it, but he was saying that one of the problems, and we've said it too, is that this is the problem with Karrion Kross. Okay, if he would have come up to WWE immediately as the character he was presented like in NXT, he would have gotten over. But he went to the main roster and they just did nothing with him, and they put a helmet on him, and it was just like they neutered him, and it was like. So then when he came back, okay, when Hunter came back, he immediately thrust him from his perception before with the guy with the helmet that was getting beat by Jeff Hardy. They wanted to put him in the picture with Drew McIntyre and Roman.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't look the same. He had hair, and it's like so we've never seen the presentation of Kross's character the way it was presented in NXT with the hair and stuff. He hasn't looked like that character, and hasn't been presented like that. So it's like I don't. It's weird. I think Kross should cut his hair and go back and let's try get back to the roots of what worked. The guy with no hair, the hair, and just the presentation is different, But that's what Dutch was kind of saying too. Is like that's one of the reasons he did. He's like a shell of the character that he was in NXT because he was putting over stuff.
But
in
why
NXT.
should they fire him?
I don't think he's saying that they should. If they're not going to do anything, if they're going to keep doing nothing with them like this, just get rid of him. That's what he was saying.
All right.
But I would, but you can send the clip to the Patreon, Joe, so people can hear that. But it's too long, right? If we didn't have 40 emails to read each week, we could do it. But I got a hockey game to go see. Next is from Ben. Something's Tony Khan is in. CM Punk is back at Collision. What's he going to do? What's he going to say? He's going to be in a cold six-man tag team match against the Bullet Club Gold and Samoa Joe. Why announce this match ahead of time? That was a good question. I don't know why it was necessary to announce that match like that. That was not a that wasn't like here's Punk back. It's like okay, first Collision, it's gonna be great. Well, what's the match? Juice Robinson and Jay White and Samoa Joe against Punk and FTR. I'm like,
I think maybe the selling point there is FTR against Juice Robinson and Jay White,
right.
Punk
and
versus
Samoa Joe and Punk with their old rivalry.
Right.
And then from there they'll probably branch off into Samoa Joe and Punk, and then them two. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but why announce that? Because the announcement is underwhelming. It's I think the point. Yeah.
Right.
Give me a video package of show me what Joe and Punk used to do, even though at this point it's 18 years ago.
Yeah.
But
it's still part of their history.
And if I don't know. I mean, Conan, I know you keep your eye on stuff. I don't know if you were then, but if you've ever watched their Ring of Honor matches, man, they were something special at that time. They really were.
Oh, dear.
Do you want to hear? I actually looked up the Dutch stuff. Since we didn't watch a clip, do you want to hear some of the quotes, Conan?
Yeah, here's some of the quotes.
Okay, so Speaking on his story time at Dutch Mantell podcast, Dutch says, it's horrible. They couldn't get him over. I mean, they couldn't get heat on him if they doused him with a gallon of gasoline through a match at him. They couldn't get heat on him because he's that type. He's got a gimmick. He's been there a couple of times, and they've tried different gimmicks on him. He's not going to make it. The girl has
a couple of times. He hasn't been there a couple of times.
No,
Well,
they're
I
talking
guess
about he was there
one
with the
release.
helmet, then he came back.
Yeah.
Like you said, he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The girl has more heat and attention than he has, and they put him on TV. This is when I decided they're done with him. They beat him the last couple of times on TV. So when they beat you on TV after you've been pushed, that means your push is over. You go to the back of the line and wait for your contract to be up because there's nothing they can do with him. There's one more. He's not going to get over, accept your losses, and move on because every time they give a match to him, they're actually cheating the rest of the roster out of a chance to get over. I mean, I'm across the I don't agree with any of that, but that's.
Well, I just think Kross should cut his hair, go back to what worked. It's like I don't know why he. I don't know. Yeah. Next is from
Why do you think? Yeah, just real quick. They obviously Kross's specialty really is his appearance, the way he carries himself, and then video promos that he's done on his own and everything like that. He can do that. He's done them in WWE, but why do you think they usually give him the pre-tapes and he never gets the mic live in the ring?
Not a lot of. Well, who does get mic live in the ring?
They have the bloodline. Owens and Zayn.
Nobody does. Yeah. He does fine with this. He does fine with the content he's been given. It's just like but they're just beating him, and he's a different look. He looks different. So, but he actually looks in great shape right now. He's gotten in really good shape.
Yeah, he has. But I just think if they give him a chance to cut a promo in the ring on somebody, something, whatever, at least it gives the audience the chance to interact with him and start to feel something. Maybe.
Yeah. Next is from Mark Gertson, and the subject is managers. Hey guys, if you guys were wrestling today, which manager working day would you want representing you? Suppose the no-brainer answer is Paul Heyman. Is there a manager out there doing really good stuff and maybe us fans should pay more attention to? Thanks. That's a Mark deep in the Stampede territory. Well, you kind of want Callis right now because he's got a solar heat. I mean, would you agree with that?
Come on. There's nobody better than two guys.
Who?
Danhausen,
right?
And what's his Prince Nana.
Yeah. If there's a manager you're asking about, guys that people don't really see, and it sounds like a shot at the NWA, but whatever. It's James Mitchell, like I said earlier, but he's only on NWA, so check out some of his stuff.
Next is from David Bent, subject is championship exposure in Forbidden Door. Dear K100 crew, AEW devoted last week's Rampage to random championship matches for outside companies such as AAA and New Japan Strong. I don't think it's cool to have working relationships with other companies, but shouldn't a night of outside championships be handled better? I understand AEW is a niche audience, but having Excalibur speed announce title defenses like the Micro Machine Man a week before makes it feel less important. Also, Conan, has there been any talks of an AAA AEW Forbidden Door event? If not, is there interest on your end? And take care, guys. That's David from Sacramento. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes,
bro, I don't think first of all, to me, the Forbidden Door, that concept has not worked in drawing fans.
Well, last year there were some injuries and stuff. I think this year, even though I'm with you, like I'm not too crazy about it, they do have some good matches on it. I think it'll be more successful than last year.
Interesting.
What were you saying, Conan, about AAA and AEW?
Yeah, it has been brought up because I can guarantee you this: AEW versus AAA in LA would do very, very good business. Mm-hmm. And when I brought it up, me and Tony were having problems, so he wasn't too into it. Maybe he will be in the future, but I'm also not going to beg.
All right, next is from JD Wolf. I think it's the second one, so we can suspend him.
That is the second one for JD. Yeah.
You know what though? This one was from he submitted this last week. Bro, you got to get them in before Monday,
so
JD.
Yeah.
Because this is from Tuesday. So Conan and Disco Inferno, I found this from Wrestling Purist. I don't remember if you're interested in this stuff or not. Is this fake news, legit news, and how does it affect ticket sales for AEW? If so, thank you. And it's from Wrestling Purist. I actually quoted from the Wrestling Observer. In arenas that rent to both AEW and WWE, WWE has put clauses in its deals that AEW can't run a certain number of weeks before or after the WWE show. And also that AEW and the arena can't announce the show or sell tickets until after the WWE show has taken place.
It's from the Observer, though, yeah.
Yeah, that's smart promotion by WWE. It's like if you can get that clause,
they've also signed exclusivity deals where they're the only wrestling company that can work in that. Like, remember we couldn't get in the Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But
And we had to
bro,
go to Uniondale where the Islanders play.
more power to them because they have such a strong product that the people know. It's like, okay, if they want to run here, there's got to be conditions because they draw tons of fans. So it's
Right.
like that's bro. Would you do that? Like, you ever have any issues like that with CMLL and you guys like running shows?
Yeah. Mhm.
Wow. So have you had to like? Do you try to get clauses and stuff? I remember when both companies were running in Arena Mexico for a long time, right?
No. One's
They
called
weren't.
Arena Mexico. One's called Arena Ciudad de Mexico, which is a
Oh,
newer,
okay.
very modern arena. And their arena is like 50 years old or so.
So you run in the new one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Like where they
All right.
play NBA basketball and they have
Right.
UFC. It's
Right.
like state of the art. Yeah.
Well, perfect example. Like the Las Vegas Aces play at Mandalay Bay. The Vegas Golden Knights play at T-Mobile Arena. So.
Right.
Huge pop for Conan's dog there. Do you some of the listeners I've seen on Twitter and in the Discord who are, of course, huge fans of your dogs? They want to know the dogs' names. Would you like to share that with the listeners?
No.
Next is from Sean McSweeney. The subject is Wolfpack. Good evening. Many people look at the Wolfpack as beginning the end of the legendary storyline. How do you feel this angle would have worked without the NWO logo? Clearly, this is done as a marketing decision, but what's your take on if members simply broke off and formed the Wolfpack, no NWO attached to the name? Maybe recruit some up-and-comers like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, incorporating and drawing in more of the Hispanic wrestling fans while still being totally accessible to the mainstream audience. Thanks for your time. Well, one thing that's very clear is that the Wolfpack was far better after we kicked Conan out and I took Conan's place. And I don't think that's really even arguable. But I think that angle would have worked if we would have beat Conan down and stripped him naked and just left him in the ring and spray painted and Wolfpack all over him. I think that would have been a good angle. Do you think that would have been good? Would you have done that angle, Conan?
No, but it would have been good if we would have stripped you naked, tarred and feathered you, and then make you go to which wouldn't be hard for you to do anyways.
Next is from Michael T. Kohutek. The subject is Shark or Shark. Michael T. Kohutek. Unsure whether or not you've heard, but a recent high school graduate was on a graduation trip in the Bahamas and apparently jumped off the boat they were on and disappeared.
Oh, man.
There's a short cell phone video moments and the young man jumps into what are now being called shark-infested waters. In the video, you can see the young man appear to notice something and swim away from the life preserver that was thrown to him. Enhanced video appears to show some type of object, possibly a large fish in the area, and he swam away from. The only logical explanation is to be drowning or a shark attack, but the search has been called off, so it appears we'll never know. Want to get your thoughts on what you think happened, if you'd even heard about it or been following it, or any other thoughts on any other unsolved mysteries like Jimmy Hoffa, JFK, or Tupac. This guy obviously got eaten by a shark.
Yeah, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw the clip. It's obvious that he's not even asking that. What, like, the mystery would happen to the guy?
Did you see it, Conan?
No.
It was on Twitter.
This
kid jumped off like
alien. Another alien.
He jumped off like a graduation cruise to be funny. I don't know. And they throw him the life preserver and he's going towards it. And then all of a sudden he sees something and he like gets away. And the camera kind of catches the shape. I think it was, it's probably a shark.
Yeah. There's something in the water.
I like when the shark goes over, by the way.
Went over there for sure.
All right, so that's been our mailbag.
Enjoy the rest of the show. Boom.